George Bernard Shaw said, "A government that robs Peter to pay Paul can always depend on the support of Paul." Lily Tomlin said, "I always wanted to be somebody, but now I realize I should have been more specific." If I were two-faced, would I be wearing this one? That was Abraham Lincoln. Terry Pratchett said, "The trouble with having an open mind, of course, is that people will insist on coming along and trying to put things in it." Billy Wilder said, "If you're going to tell people the truth, be funny or they'll kill you." Robin Williams said, "I'm sorry. If you were right, I'd agree with you." And Milton Berle said, "A committee is a group that keeps minutes and loses hours." Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator Ruderman. Will the Senate please come to order? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Baker, Senator Chang, Senator Dela Cruz, Senator English, Senator Espero, Senator Gabbard, Senator Galutaria, Senator Green, Senator Harimoto,
Excused.
Senator Ihara, Senator Inoue, Senator Kahele, Senator Keith Agaran, Senator Kidani, Senator Kim, Senator Nishihara, Senator Rhodes, Senator Riviere, Senator Ruderman, Senator Shimabukuro, Senator Taniguchi, Senator Thielen, Senator Tokuda, Senator Wakai. Mr. President.
Present.
24 present, 1 excused.
Thank you. The chair has read the journal of the preceding day and approves the same. Are there any introductions this morning? Senator Tokuda.
Thank you, Mr. President. I do believe we have today with us some very special guests. Excuse my voice. Today is Equal Pay Day, the day when women catch up in earnings to what their male peers made the previous year. For women of color and working mothers, the gaps we know are even more significant. And today we take a moment in our ongoing fight for women and working families to demand equal pay for equal work. Colleagues, we're very fortunate to have with us in the gallery some of our trailblazers and fighters, members of our Women's Coalition and the American Association of University Women. If we could have them rise to be recognized and thank them for their ongoing advocacy and efforts. I also see the head or executive director of our Commission on the Status of Women. Thank you again.
Thank you, Senator Tokuda. Do we have any further introductions? If not, Madam Clerk.
Governor's Message number 742 makes a correction to the term expiration date for Governor's Message 704, and Governor's Message numbers 743 to 745 inform the Senate that the Governor has withdrawn nominations to various boards.
File.
Governor's Message numbers 746 to 752 transmit nominations to the Board of Directors of the Hawaii Tourism Authority for referral to committee.
Governor's Messages number 746 to 752 are referred to the Committee on Economic Development, Tourism, and Technology.
House Communication number 490 informs the Senate that the House has disagreed to the amendments proposed by the Senate to various House bills.
File.
On pages 4 through 11, House Communication numbers 491 to 545 return Senate bills that passed third reading in the House in an amended form for agree-disagree.
Senator Espero.
I move that the Senate disagree to the amendments proposed by the House to said Senate bills.
Senator English.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Conferees will be named at a later date.
Judiciary Communication number 6 transmits a nomination to the District Court of the Second Circuit.
Judiciary Communication number 6 is referred to the Committee on Judiciary.
Standing Committee Report numbers 3707 to 3717 for one-day notice.
So ordered.
On page 16, advise and consent.
If there are no objections from the members, we will be taking advise and consent on consent.
Standing Committee Report Number 3526 on Governor's Message Number 542 for adoption.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent?
Twenty-four ayes.
Thank you. The nominee for said governor's message has been confirmed.
We have floor amendments, beginning on page 17. Standing Committee Report Number 3549, third reading of House Bill 1938, Senate Draft 1, relating to school buses.
Senator De La Cruz.
Mr. President, I wish to offer a floor amendment to House Bill number 1938 SD1.
Madam Clerk, please identify the floor amendment.
Floor Amendment Number 14, proposing an amendment to House Bill 1938, Senate Draft 1, copies of which have been distributed to the members.
Senator De La Cruz.
Mr. President, I move that floor amendment number 14 be adopted.
Senator Keith Agaran.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Senator De La Cruz.
The floor amendment defects the effective date upon approval to July 1st, 2100. The bill needs additional conversation, therefore your committee is defecting the date to send it to conference.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? If not, any objections? If not, the motion is carried. Floor amendment number 14 has been adopted. Senator De La Cruz.
Where's that one? Mr. President, I move to separate House Bill 1938 SD1 from Standing Committee Report number 3549.
Senator Keith Agaran.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Any objections? If not, the motion is carried. The clerk is directed to file Standing Committee Report number 3549. 48-hour notice is hereby given for third reading of House Bill 1938, Senate Draft 2.
Standing Committee Report Number 3574, third reading of House Bill 2259, Senate Draft 2, relating to marine events.
Senator De La Cruz.
Mr. President, I wish to offer a floor amendment to House Bill number 2259 SD2.
Madam Clerk, please identify the amendment.
Floor Amendment Number 15, proposing an amendment to House Bill 2259, Senate Draft 2, copies of which have been distributed to the members.
Senator De La Cruz.
Mr. President, I move that floor amendment number 15 be adopted.
Senator Keith Agaran.
I second the amendment.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Senator De La Cruz.
The floor amendment defects the effective date to July
Is
from
the-
July 1st, 2018 to 2100.
Is there any further discussion? Any objections? If not, the motion is carried. Floor amendment number 15 has been adopted. Senator De La Cruz.
Mr. President, I move to separate House Bill 2259 SD2 from Standing Committee Report number 3574.
Senator Keith Agaran.
I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Any objections? If not, the motion is carried. The clerk is directed to file a Standing Committee Report number 3574. 48-hour notice is hereby given for third reading of House Bill 2259, Senate Draft 3. If there are no objections from the members, we'll call a short recess. If you would reconvene in the caucus room. Thank you.
Members of the Senate, please be seated.
Will the Senate please come back into order, Madam Clerk?
We are on floor amendments, third reading of House Bill 1652, Senate Draft 1, relating to non-general funds.
We'll move this to the end of calendar if there are no objections. Senator Ihara,
Mr. President, can I make a late introduction?
please proceed.
Mr. President, we have in the gallery today the senior class of Sacred Hearts Academy in my district. Could you all please rise to be welcome into the gallery in our Senate chambers? Thank you for visiting us.
That was an unexpected surprise to come back out and see the gallery filled up. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Standing Committee Report Number 3614, third reading of House Bill 1585, Senate Draft 2, relating to the University of Hawaii.
Senator Kahele.
Mr. President, I wish to offer a floor amendment to House Bill number 1585, the Senate Draft 2.
Madam Clerk, please identify the amendment.
Floor Amendment Number 17, proposing an amendment to House Bill 1585, Senate Draft 2, copies of which have been distributed to the members.
Senator Kahele.
Mr. President, I move that floor amendment number 17 be adopted.
Senator Dela Cruz.
Second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion, Senator Kahele?
Mr. President, I rise in support of this floor amendment.
Please proceed.
Colleagues, this floor amendment will defect the effective date to December 31st, 2033. It will also clarify new construction to not include any construction concerning the decommissioning of an existing telescope or the repair, maintenance, and upkeep of existing telescopes on Mauna Kea.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Senator Kim,
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in opposition to the
please proceed.
amendment. Thank you. Mr. President, I do not disagree with the substance of this amendment, and I certainly appreciate the efforts from our senator from Hilo to hold the university accountable. If there's anyone that wants to hold UH accountable, I am one of those, and I support the measures that he has been proposing. However, I also support the process that we have here in our Senate and in our rules, and mainly the process is to allow the public the opportunity to have a say and to testify on many of these measures, especially those that have far-reaching effects. On our Rule 23, it says if a bill, and I'll skip A, go to B, contains any significant or substantial amendment made by a committee other than the last standing committee to which a bill has been referred, it must have a public hearing. And C, the public has not been provided with an opportunity to submit testimony on the significant or substantial amendment, and therefore there should have a hearing. On those procedural issues, Mr. President, I will be voting against the amendment, although I agree with it, and then therefore vote against the bill at this point in time. I'll also point out that, it's not necessarily an emergency in the sense that we didn't realize or know that these are issues that were out there. Unfortunately, we have deadlines and ideas as to how we can hold them accountable come after the process, unfortunately, but the public still, we have to guard the fact that the public needs to have a say, and on that measure, I reluctantly will vote against this measure. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? If not, do we have any objections to the motion besides Senator Kim? So, Madam Clerk, we have a no vote for Senator Inouye, Senator Thielen, Senator Ruderman, Senator Kim. Senator Taniguchi, reservations. Any other reservations? Senator Baker, Senator Gabbard, Senator Green, Senator Espero, and Senator Tokuda. The motion is carried. I forgot we're not on the consent calendar. Sorry, Madam Clerk. Floor Amendment Number 17 has been adopted. Senator Kahele.
Mr. President, I move to separate House Bill 1585, the Senate Draft 2, from Standing Committee Report number 3614.
Senator Dela Cruz.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Any objections? If not, motion is carried. The clerk is directed to file Standing Committee Report Number 3614. 48-hour notice is hereby given for third reading of House Bill 1585, Senate Draft 3.
Mr. President, can I call for recess, please?
No objection, short recess. Will the Senate please come back into order? Madam Clerk?
Third reading of the consent calendar on pages 18 to 52.
If there are no objections from the members, we'll be taking third reading on consent.
Third reading of all bills on the consent calendar, beginning with Standing Committee Report Number 3436 on House Bill 1802, Senate Draft 1 on page 18, through Standing Committee Report Number 3706 on House Bill 2605, Senate Draft 2 on page 52.
Mr. President, may I please call for a short recess?
No objection, short recess. Senate's called back into order. We did, if there are no objections, we'll be taking the consent calendar on consent. The clerk read through the items. Is there any discussion on the bills on the consent calendar? Any objections? Or do we have unanimous consent?
24 ayes.
Thank you. All bills on the consent calendar from House Bill 1802 SD1 on page 18 through House Bill 2605 SD2 on page 52 past third reading.
Beginning on page 53, third reading of the ordinary calendar.
Before proceeding with the ordinary calendar bills, if there are no objections, we will be taking House Bill 1985 SD1 out of order. Madam Clerk.
On page 56 of the ordinary calendar, third reading of House Bill 1985, Senate Draft 1 relating to,
Senator Kahele.
Recess, Mr. President.
No objections? Will the Senate please come back into order? I know we put 16 to the end of the calendar. It's going to come back in a new amendment 19. We'll also put 18 to the end of the calendar, as we'll have a new amendment, which will be 20. Can we go to the ordinary calendar, Madam Clerk?
Yes, Mr. President. We are on page 53 of the ordinary calendar. Third reading of House Bill 2602, Senate Draft 1, relating to independent contractors.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? No votes for Senators Taniguchi, Rhodes, and Chang.
Twenty-one ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 2602 SD1 passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3440, third reading of House Bill 2071, Senate Draft 2, relating to law enforcement.
Is there any discussion? Senator Sparrow,
Thank you, Mr. President, colleagues. I rise in support of this measure.
please proceed.
This measure is going to allow us to continue the discussion on law enforcement reform. We've been looking at ways that we can improve our law enforcement personnel and agencies. We're one of the few states that do not have statewide standards in terms of education, recruitment, training, supervision of our law enforcement agencies. And when you look at some of the issues that have been occurring here locally as well as nationally, this is something, colleagues, that we must do. And it's been several years that we've been talking about it. I'm very happy to see that we are moving forward and possibly looking at a certification and decertification process so that we will definitely have our safe communities and neighborhoods. The majority of our law enforcement officers are professional law-abiding citizens, but this is an attempt to make the whole system better. And I look forward to us moving this forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Further discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent?
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 2071, Senate Draft 2 passes third reading.
Third reading of House Bill 860, Senate Draft 1, relating to actions for quiet title.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent?
24 ayes.
Is that reservations for Senator Chang? Any other reservations? Thank you. House Bill 860, Senate Draft 1 passes third reading.
Third reading of House Bill 2318, Senate Draft 1, relating to confidential personal information.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent?
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 2318, SD1 passes third reading.
Page 54, Standing Committee Report Number 3522, third reading of House Bill 1669, Senate Draft 2, relating to concessions on public property.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? Is that a reservation or a no vote? No vote for Senator Inoue.
23 ayes, 1 no.
Thank you. House Bill 1669, SD2 passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3523, third reading of House Bill 1767, Senate Draft 2, relating to motor vehicles.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent?
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 1767, SD2 passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3540, third reading of House Bill 2559, Senate Draft 1, relating to special purpose revenue bonds to assist spin launch.
Is there any discussion? Senator Ruderman,
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in opposition.
please proceed.
Thank you. Regardless of the wording of this bill, everybody who's come to Hawaii to look at a rocket launch facility ends up looking at Ka'u. It's got geographical advantages that nowhere else in the state has, particularly water on three sides, a lot of empty land, and pointing towards the equator. In the past, Ka'u has rejected several rocket launch facilities, and they rejected them very vehemently. That's because the nature of the community is agricultural based, and it cherishes its clean environment. I understand that this is an electric launching facility. I wonder if they've realized that Hawaii Island has one of the most expensive electricity costs in our nation, and I wonder how that's going to work out. I also hope that one day those who propose and advocate for controversial, lifestyle-changing major projects with environmental and cultural impacts will talk to the people impacted and/or their representatives before they proceed with the proposal. As the senator from the district that this always seems to happen to, I will oppose any such projects. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Senator Wakai,
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in support of this measure.
please proceed.
The opportunities for our aerospace growth are limitless, and this measure in front of us simply allows for us to say, go ahead, spin launch, test your new and innovative way of launching small satellites someplace in Hawaii. So in the Ways and Means Committee, there was changes to the language of this measure, which doesn't say that it's going to be on the Big Island, doesn't say it's going to be in Ka'u, doesn't say it's going to be anywhere specifically in Hawaii, but just simply that we embrace this idea, this innovative approach, and would like to see it hopefully tested someplace in the state. So there's this misconception that somehow this particular project will land up in Pohoi Bay. It's certainly been made clear to myself and to the proponents of spin launch that is a highly inappropriate area. But I would hope that my colleagues will see the huge opportunities that stand in front of us with a number of small satellites that will need to be launched into space in the very near future, and see that Hawaii could play a significant role in this for economic benefits as well as scientific discovery. So rather than be closed-minded to saying not in one place, let's be open-minded to say someplace in the state of Hawaii. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Further discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? I have a no vote for Senator Ruderman, for Senator Inoue, and for Senator Green. Do I have any reservations? Senator Ihara, Senator Kim, Senator Revere.
Twenty-one ayes, 3 noes.
Thank you. House Bill 2559 SD1 passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3546, third reading of House Bill 2077, Senate Draft 1, relating to employee training.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? Reservations for Senator Thielen, Senator Taniguchi, Senator Ihara.
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 2077 SD1 passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3547, third reading of House Bill 1627, Senate Draft 2, relating to the minimum wage.
Is there any discussion? Senator Thielen.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in support of this bill, but with some reservations.
Please proceed.
I understand the need to be taking a look at this. I think there was a suggestion, though, because we didn't want to inadvertently create more hardship with this bill, the possibility of adding a sunset clause or another idea to be able to come back and take a look at the data about the impacts the bill has on the employment in the disability community. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? We have reservations for Senator Thielen, Senator Ruderman, Senator Kidani. Do we have any no votes? Oh, I'm sorry. There was reservation for Senator Kim. Did I miss any other reservations? No votes for Senator Rhodes.
Twenty-three ayes, 1 no.
Thank you. House Bill 1627 SD2 passes third reading.
Page 55, Standing Committee Report Number 3554, third reading of House Bill 1906, Senate Draft 2, relating to healthcare workers.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? Is that reservations or a no vote? No vote for Senator Rhodes, no vote for Senator English, and no vote for Senator Keith Agaran.
21 ayes, 3 noes.
Thank you. House Bill 1906 SD2 passes third reading.
Third reading of House Bill 1864, Senate Draft 1, relating to renewable energy technologies.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? Reservation for Senator Ihara, for Senator Ruderman, Senator Thielen.
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 1864, SD1, passes third reading.
Third reading of House Bill 1474, Senate Draft 1, relating to agriculture.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? Reservation for Senator Ihara, Senator Ruderman, Senator Thielen.
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 1474, SD1, passes third reading.
Third reading of House Bill 2304, Senate Draft 1, relating to agriculture.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? Reservations for Senator Ihara and Senator Thielen.
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 2304, SD1, passes third reading.
Third reading of House Bill 207, Senate Draft 1, relating to taxation.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? Is that a no vote? No vote for Senator Riviere and Senator Ruderman. Is that a no or reservation? No vote for Senator Ruderman and Riviere. Any reservations?
22 ayes, 2 noes.
Thank you. House Bill 207, SD1, passes third reading.
On page 56, third reading of House Bill 2432, Senate Draft 1, relating to the transient accommodations tax.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? Reservations for Senator Thielen, Senator Wakai. Reservations for Senator Ihara.
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 2432, SD1, passes third reading.
Third reading of House Bill... I'm sorry, we're
2007, SD2.
Yes, we're skipping House Bill 1985, Senate Draft 1. Standing Committee Report number 3576, third reading of House Bill 2007, Senate Draft 2, relating to taxation.
Is there any discussion? Senator Ruderman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise with reservations.
Please proceed.
You know, I noticed in the testimony that only the industry supported this. The mayor of my island had a pithy quote that I'd like to repeat. Tax giveaways should be reserved for good corporate citizens. I agree with him. The helicopter industry is one of the biggest problems in our community. And my community has the biggest problem with tour helicopters of any community in the nation. We've been trying for a couple of years to get this industry to come to the table. For the most part, they have not done so. Rather than oppose the bill, I'm going to support it with reservations in hopes that in conference we can discuss moving this to a 2-year pilot project where we grant these tax exemptions to those who are good corporate citizens, particularly those helicopter companies that have installed quiet technology. Then instead of it being a pure negative, we can turn it into a motivational tool to help these companies become good citizens and help resolve one of the greatest problems we have in our district. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion, Senator Thielen?
Thank you, Mr. President. I also rise with reservations.
Please proceed.
While the Windward District of Oahu may not have the largest problem in the nation with helicopter noise, I think it does rank up there in the top 10 with the number of tours and other things. And I agree with the comments of the senator from the Big Island and also with the mayor that tax credits should be reserved for corporate citizens and actually to encourage and reward good behavior. I think it's an excellent idea to limit the tax credit to the companies or the helicopters that are going to be adopting the quiet technology, because we'd actually be giving them a tax break that they can put those saved revenues towards some improvements in their operations, which will provide tremendous relief to our residents. There's also other ideas, such as rewarding corporations that would agree to some type of good behavior compact, not to run tours during the weekends or the early morning hours or in the late evenings when it's going to be bothering residents. There's many good behavior things that many of us have tried for years to get these organizations to adopt that they have not adopted. And I think it's worthwhile to be holding back on any final decisions until we get that change in behavior. Mahalo.
Thank you. I believe on Kauai, when there was an agreement in effect, it was fly neighborly, if you're looking for a term to use. Further discussion? Do we have unanimous consent? We have reservations for Senators Green, Thielen, Riviere, Ruderman, Ihara, and Espero and Kidani. Kim. Do I have to go back through that? That went a little fast,
No.
Madam Clerk. Sorry about
No,
that.
we got it, Mr. President. 24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 2007, Senate Draft 2, passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3589, third reading of House Bill 1489, Senate Draft 2, relating to civil rights.
Is there any discussion?
Mr. President, may I request a short recess?
If there are no objections, we'll take a short recess. Will the Senate please come back into order, Madam Clerk?
We are on Standing Committee Report Number 3589, third reading of House Bill 1489, Senate Draft 2, relating to civil rights.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? Reservations for Senator Kidani.
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 1489 SD2 passes third reading.
Third reading of House Bill 1768, Senate Draft 2, relating to information practices.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? No vote for Senator Rhodes. Reservations for Senator Ihara. Reservations for Senators Espero and Keith Agaran.
23 ayes, 1 no.
Thank you. House Bill 1768 SD2 passes third reading.
Page 57, Standing Committee Report Number 3595, third reading of House Bill 2589, Senate Draft 1, relating to motorcycles.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? No vote for Senator Rhodes. Any reservations?
23 ayes, 1 no.
Thank you. House Bill 2589 SD1 passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3597, third reading of House Bill 2073, Senate Draft 1, relating to urban redevelopment.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? No vote for Senator Thielen. Reservations for Senators Riviere, Ruderman, and Ihara.
23 ayes, 1 no.
Thank you. House Bill 2073 SD1 passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3601, third reading of House Bill 2172, Senate Draft 2, relating to University of Hawaii public-private partnerships.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? No vote for Senate. Reservation for Senator Taniguchi.
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 2172 SD2 passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3605, third reading of House Bill 2300, Senate Draft 1, relating to the University of Hawaii.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? Senator Kidani, reservations.
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 2300 SD1 passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3615, third reading of House Bill 1508, Senate Draft 2, relating to energy efficiency.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? Reservations for Senator Thielen.
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 1508 SD2 passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3618, third reading of House Bill 2587, Senate Draft 2, relating to taxation.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? No vote for Senator Riviere. Any reservations?
23 ayes, 1 no.
Thank you. House Bill 2587 SD2 passes third reading.
On page 58, Standing Committee Report Number 3624, third reading of House Bill 2041, Senate Draft 2, relating to aquaculture.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent?
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 2041 SD2 passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3627, third reading of House Bill 2021, Senate Draft 2, relating to homeless individuals with severe mental illness.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent?
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 2021 SD2 passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3629, third reading of House Bill 2005, Senate Draft 2, relating to University of Hawaii revenue bonds.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? No vote for Senator Taniguchi.
23 ayes, 1 no.
Thank you. House Bill 2005, Senate Draft 2 passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3636, third reading of House Bill 1974, Senate Draft 2, relating to the Department of Land and Natural Resources.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent?
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 1974 SD2 passes third reading.
On page 59, Standing Committee Report Number 3637, third reading of House Bill 1977, Senate Draft 2, relating to flood mitigation.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent?
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 1977 SD2 passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3648, third reading of House Bill 2679, Senate Draft 2, relating to the transfer of lands.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent?
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 2679 SD2 passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3652, third reading of House Bill 2659, Senate Draft 2, relating to economic development.
Is there any discussion? Senator Thielen,
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in opposition to this bill.
please proceed.
Thank you. And the bill, the way it's come out of the final committee, it would provide tax breaks to a business in Kapolei where they are paying half of their employees barely a living wage salary, which means they could be paying the other half of their employees much less than a living wage salary. So I'm not sure why we are rewarding this type of behavior. And I would strongly encourage in the conference committee any effort be made to be moving the requirements up, because if we really are trying to build up a professional workforce in Kapolei, then we need to be looking at something that is significantly higher in the salary range. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? There was a no vote for Senator Thielen, Senator Taniguchi, Senator Ruderman, Senator Rhodes. Reservations for Senator Ihara and Senator Riviere. Senator Kim.
20 ayes, 4 noes.
Thank you. House Bill 2659 SD2 passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3662, third reading of House Bill 2010, Senate Draft 2, relating to tourism.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? Reservations for Senator Thielen.
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 2010 SD2 passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3666, third reading of House Bill 1986, Senate Draft 2, relating to the environment.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? No vote for Senator Thielen, Senator Ruderman. Any reservations? Senator Kim.
Twenty-one ayes, 2 noes.
Thank you. House Bill
I'm sorry,
1986.
Mr. President, I'm so sorry.
Senator
I'm sorry,
Chang is
yeah,
present.
it's 22 ayes and 2 noes.
Thank you. House Bill 1986 SD2 passes third reading. Are the floor amendments ready? Let's proceed.
On page 60, Standing Committee Report Number 3679, third reading of House Bill 2598, Senate Draft 2, relating to family leave.
Is there any discussion? Senator Ruderman,
Thank you. I rise with reservations.
please proceed.
I support the intent of this bill, and I hope we do come out with a paid family leave bill this year. As the employer of more than 200 people, I'm concerned about the uncertainty of what it will look like, and that's why I vote with the reservations. I preferred the task force that was going to come back and make suggestions, but I support whatever effort makes this succeed this year, and I appreciate the efforts of the labor chair in this regard.
Thank you. Further discussion, Senator Inouye.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be voting no on this bill, and I have comments I'd like to add into the journal.
So ordered. Further discussion, Senator Tokuda.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise with brief comments in support and would like more entered into the journal.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Paid family leave is about recognizing the importance of our workers and our family. I'd first like to thank, and I truly appreciate the Ways and Means Committee putting forward the amendments that both Chair Johansson and I have made recommendations for so that we could have a full array of options going into conference. The measure before us is a result of a series of conversations and discussions that we have been having with both advocates and businesses focused on what best practices could create a paid family leave model that most efficiently and effectively delivers benefits to our workers and our families, while at the same time ensures that we have the least amount of initial and ongoing costs, which is very important to our taxpayers. While very different from the previous versions of the bill, the measure that we have before us, it identifies expanded TDI as the established model, a model found in many of the states that have paid family leave. And it was put forward specifically to address the concerns that were identified by business as to that uncertainty that was established in the previous bills, because it was going to be the job of the implementation task force and various studies to identify the model and then put it forward in the years to come. That being said, as we know, it is going into conference committee, that what we will do the due diligence of looking to see what that final outcome is. And we appreciate that we now have an array of options to look forward to in terms of being able to once and for all make sure that our workers and our family have the dignity and that option of paid family leave to be able to take care of one another going forward. Because we know all too well the statistics, and they're very daunting. By 2020, 40% of our workforce will be taking care of an aging family. In fact, right now in our community, over 240,000 individuals have that responsibility that they bear very willingly and lovingly to care for an aging loved one. Paid family leave, the bottom line, it just makes sense. And I thank you for allowing us to keep these measures moving forward so that we can go into conference and hopefully at the end of the day pass a measure that can help us take care of our families and our workers.
Thank you, and your written comments will be inserted into the journal. Further discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent? We have a no vote for Senator Inouye. Are there any other no votes? We have reservations for Senator Ruderman. Any other reservations?
23 ayes, 1 no.
Thank you. House Bill 2598, SD2, passes third reading.
Standing Committee Report Number 3688, third reading of House Bill 1270, Senate Draft 2, relating to land acquisition.
Is there any discussion? If not, do we have unanimous consent?
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 1270, Senate Draft 2, passes third reading.
Third reading of House Bill 1900, Senate Draft 2, relating to the state budget.
Is there any discussion? Senator De La Cruz,
I'll rise in support.
please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. For fiscal years 2019 through 2023, the administration has presented a financial plan and a budget balanced on deficit spending and depending on the carryover funds to cover expenses. With the current state financial plan, we are on a path to deplete our $1 billion carryover balance by 90%. The state is spending more than what it generates. The Senate put together a responsible financial plan. We looked at ways to cut costs, reduce spending, and put forward bills to generate revenue, which have crossed over to the House. These measures will bring the overall state's financial plan in the black by fiscal year 2022, 1 year earlier compared to the current state financial plan. Act 49, Session Laws of Hawaii, 2017, provides a base budget of $14.3 billion, of which $7.421 billion are general funds for fiscal years 19. Including all governor's messages that the legislature received, the administration proposed to add $121.3 million to the base budget, of which $65.6 million are general funds. In addition, or should I say subtraction, the legislature can no longer count on the $33 million and $67 million in the out years of BMB revenue. Working with the subject matter committee chairs in putting together the Senate draft, we kept in mind our fixed cost obligations, such as our health benefits, Medicaid, pension, and debt service. These obligations alone count for 49% of our supplemental budget spending. The Senate draft of the budget puts forth an additional $70.7 million in general funds. Of that $70.7 million, $65 million in fiscal year 19 are non-recurring costs and do not add to the base budget. The Senate draft proposes to add $14.6 million for the base budget for years going forward, of which $5.6 million are in general funds, to pay for programs like Kupuna Care and Medicaid adult dental health programs. Many of these programs are to address Hawaii's increasing aging population. Changes in the Senate draft of the budget and additional revenue bills that the Senate has passed over to the House include proposed one-time revenue infusions of $79 million and an additional $120.7 million in recurring revenue going forward. Additionally, per the 2016 State Reserve Policy, which recommends having 10% of the general fund balance on hand, we have invested $81.4 million into the Emergency and Budget Reserve Fund, the Rainy Day Fund, in order to get up that balance to $700 million. The committee feels it's important to limit the growth of government and reduce duplicative services. Where applicable, departments should be working with each other to provide services to Hawaii's residents. With that in mind and incorporating the department's request this year for fiscal year 19, the Senate reduced 32 positions to maintain the position ceiling identified in Act 49, Session Laws of Hawaii 2017. There are many competing needs the state must address, and we must prioritize. The committee recognizes the state's role in overseeing and managing a range of services for our kupuna, addressing issues surrounding homelessness, investing in the development of affordable housing, funding early childhood education, and the Hawaii Promise program, and making preparations to scale up our farm-to-school programs statewide. The Senate draft of the state budget includes funding the following priorities: investing into the development of increasing our affordable housing inventory, supporting programs and services for agriculture, funding to support grants for local businesses to help expand and diversify our economy, providing funding for early childhood education, early college programs, and the Hawaii Promise program, funding to protect our natural resources, funding to support critical Medicaid and adult health care services, including Kupuna Care and caregiver programs, providing funding for critical programs to address homelessness, such as Housing First, rapid rehousing, and the implementation of Ohana zones, and an infusion into the state's Rainy Day Fund. The Committee on Ways and Means worked closely with each Senate subject matter committee chair to identify Senate priorities to be included in the Senate draft. For the Department of Agriculture, in working with the Ag Chair, we included $1 million for invasive and hazardous plant mitigation, and $300,000 for Environmental Protection Pesticide Drift Buffer Zone Pilot Program. In addition, 2 positions for Farm to Table statewide. In working with the Government Operations Chair, we've included $118,000 for salary increases for the State Procurement Office and $265,000 for the Hawaii State Digital Archives. In working with the ETT Chair, We've included $200,000 for Creative Lab Hawaii expansion to neighbor islands, $150,000 for Pisces, $150,000 for unmanned aerial systems, and $1.5 million for the accelerator program. In working with the Transportation and Energy Chair, we've included $300,000 for the state energy plan. We also reduced $81 million in debt service payments, retirement payments, and health premium payments in working with the Ways and Means Committee. In working with the Public Safety Chair, we've added 2 positions for the State Fusion Center and $1.5 million for repair and maintenance for Homeland Security Office, Hawaii State's Veterans Cemetery, Hawaii Operations Center, and additional buildings statewide. In working with the Education Chair, we've added $2.8 million for the Hawaii Keiki program, $1 million for early college, $1.1 million for alternative teacher route programs, $1.5 million for complex area superintendents, professional development for special projects fund, and $1 million for Title IX training for equity specialists, principals, and complex area superintendents. $100,000 for a public library land pilot project, and $800,000 for Hard to Staff and National Board Certified incentives. In working with the CPH Chair, we've added $3.8 million for the Kupuna Care statewide, $4 million for Kupuna Caregiver Fund, $3 million for new ambulances on Kauai and Hawaii Island, 2 positions for the Office of Language Access. And as a result of our WAM site visit to the Big Island, we've added $1.5 million for the Hilo Medical Center Cardiac Unit. In working with the Human Services Chair, we've added $4.4 million, 4.4 with 6.6 federal match to restore adult health Medicaid benefits, $15.9 million for various homeless initiatives to provide a comprehensive and statewide solution, which provides funds for Housing First, Rapid Rehousing, Family Assessment Center, outreach and civil legal services, property storage and debris removal, Ohana Zone pilot project, and for coordinated statewide homeless initiative. In working with the Labor Chair, we've included 2 positions for the Hawaii Labor Relations Board. In working with the Water Land Chair, we've added 10 positions and $4.5 million for lifeguard services, operations, and improvements to state parks, $1.2 million for state trails, $1.4 million for ocean safety educational services, $5 million working with the Ag Chair and the Water Land Chair for the Hawaii Interagency Biosecurity Plan. We've added 5 positions and $3.1 million for DoCare Training Academy, Dispatch Center, and Safety Enforcement at small boat harbors. And working with the Judiciary Chair, we've added 7 positions and $1 million for the State Historic Preservation Office. In working with the Transportation Chair, we've also added $824,000 for a new airport access road in Kahului, in addition to shuttle buses and operations, and additional money for the consolidated rental car facility. In working with the Higher Ed Chair, we've added 4 positions and $568,000 for the Senate and the Majority Leader, 4 positions and $568,000 for the Center for Pacific Island Students at UH Manoa, $200,000 for Ratlong Lab Research at UH Hilo, 8 positions and $500,000 for health and safety and campus development at UH West Oahu, and $700,000 for the Hawaii Promise program for UH community colleges. 8 positions for student success initiatives, and 7 positions and $1.5 million for repair and maintenance at the UH system. I really want to thank the committee members for all their hard work, and I would like to acknowledge their efforts, time, and dedication, as well as the hard efforts and hard work that the Vice Chair put into crafting the CIP budget. Also, mahalo to Senate leadership and the members of the Senate, the subject matter chairs, in developing and discussing the priorities and making the hard choices, realizing that we need to live within our means. Lastly, I'd like to thank the Ways and Means staff for their hard work, Committee Chair Dane Wicker, Budget Chief Aaron Connor, and Bills Chief Duncan Osorio, and Budget and Bills staff artists Zong, Alika K. Paloma, Derek Chang, Janos Palco, Lance Tashima, Robert Nishimoto, Moya Gray, Leo Malama Solomon, Sydney Hart, Ashley Kurisu, Chung Sheng, and Weston Yap. And I'd also like to thank Dot Fujinaga, David Cho, and Tina Deitsmith. If you can all stand and be recognized. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Further discussion. Senator Kahele,
Mr. President, I rise in strong support of the bill.
please proceed.
Brief comments, Mr. President. I just would like to also thank the senator from Wahiawa, the Ways and Means Chair, as well as the senator from Wailuku, the Vice Chair, and as previously noted, the Ways and Means staff who are here in this chamber today for their incredible hard work to provide a balanced and well thought out budget for the state. The Ways and Means Chair came up with innovative revenue generating measures that will help close the gap on the overspending of the state, as well as maximize taxpayer dollars to ensure that services that benefit our kupuna, that benefit Housing First and homeless programs, our K-12 education system, the University of Hawaii, and our healthcare programs like the $1.5 million for the Hilo Medical Center's cardiac program are great things that this state's budget does. So I'd like to thank the Ways and Means Chair and look forward to voting in strong support of this bill. Mahalo.
Thank you. Further discussion. Senator Keith Agaran.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to echo some of the remarks of the WAM chair, but I also wanted to add my own personal thanks to members of my own staff, to my office manager, Susan Wong, and Danielle Evangelista, as well as the session staff, Justin Fragiao and Pamela Ono. And I especially wanted to thank a guy who probably spent more hours, late hours, than I probably expected him to, but I'm glad he did, and that's Robert Nishimoto, who's already been introduced. If he could stand, he was the CIP specialist this year, and you should hang around because there's going to be more work as we go to conference. Thanks. Thank you.
Is there further discussion? If not, I'd just briefly say thank you to the Ways and Means Chair, Vice Chair, Committee for their work, to the staff for their hard work, and especially in the items described by the Ways and Means Chair, really reaching, I think, in a very strong and positive way to affirm the goals that were set out by the Senate when we met and identified the priorities that we laid out. So I thank you for following the roadmap that was put together back in December and early January and coming up with a product that really matches what we hope to accomplish before we began this session. So thank you very much. If there's no further discussion, do we have unanimous consent?
24 ayes.
Thank you. House Bill 1900 SD2 passes third reading. We are at item 16 that was put to the end of the calendar. It's going to be replaced by floor amendment 19, Madam Clerk.
We're at the end of calendar items, and we're turning back to page 17. Third reading of House Bill 1652, Senate Draft 1, relating to non-general funds.
Senator Baker.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to offer a floor amendment, number 19.
Madam Clerk, please identify the amendment.
Floor amendment number 19, proposing an amendment to House Bill number 1652, Senate Draft 1, copies of which have been distributed to the members.
Senator Baker.
Thank you, Mr. President. This floor amendment merely defects the date on House Bill 1652 to ensure that it goes to conference where some continued discussion can be had on the impacts of some of the items in this measure.
And so you're moving that it be adopted.
I move that we adopt this amendment. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Tokuda.
Thank you. I second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Senator Baker has given the description for the amendment. Is there any further discussion? Any objections? If not, the motion is carried. Floor amendment number 19 has been adopted. 48-hour notice is hereby given for third reading of House Bill 1652 SD2. And then we had moved to the end of the calendar. Amendment 18, that is no longer going to be considered. It's replaced with Amendment 20, Madam Clerk.
Third reading of House Bill 1985, Senate Draft 1, relating to land use.
Senator Kahele.
Mr. President, I wish to offer a floor amendment to House Bill number 1985, the Senate Draft 1.
Madam Clerk, please identify the amendment.
Floor amendment number 20, proposing an amendment to House Bill 1985, Senate Draft 1, copies of which have been distributed to the members.
Senator Kahele.
Mr. President, I move that floor amendment number 18 be adopted.
Number 20,
Number 20, Mr. President, sorry.
Senator De La Cruz.
Second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion, Senator Kahele?
Colleagues, the floor amendment on this bill will defect the date to December 31st, 2033.
Is there any further discussion? If not, any objections? The motion is carried. Floor amendment number 20 has been adopted. 48-hour notice is hereby given for third reading of House Bill 1985.
Referrals and re-referrals.
Referrals and re-referrals are made in accordance with the supplemental order of the day, which may be distributed to your offices later today.
No further business, Mr. President.
Are there any announcements today? If not, Senator Galateria, announcement?
Thank you, Mr. President. Tomorrow we're enjoying a well-deserved recess day. And when we reconvene on Thursday, it will be on the heels of a very vibrant morning because it's going to be Kupuna Power Day on Thursday. And it begins at 9 a.m. right here in the state capitol rotunda. The silver tsunami is coming. And this year's event will be most memorable, colleagues, because while celebrating and empowering seniors and honoring our seniors through education, awareness, and good health, Kupuna Power Day will also be dedicated to the memory of the late U.S. Senator Daniel Kahikina Akaka, dedicated statesman and champion for seniors, veterans, and all people of Hawaii who passed away on April 6th. In addition, in his honor, this will be the first event for the recently proclaimed Year of the Hawaiian. Senator Akaka was the embodiment of aloha, as we all know, serving the people of Hawaii with dignity and humility. And we named an award after him called the Daniel Kahikina Award for Outstanding Senior Service. And he would come every year for the past 5 years to present it to outstanding senior service honorees. And we're going to miss him this year, but we want to invite everybody to come on down. The senior resource table is open at 8:30 in the morning on Thursday. The program, which will include proclamations by the governor and the mayor, will also be given, along with great entertainment. Danny Kalekini will be here, along with Marlene Tsai, Melvin Lead. Education, a little exercise, and that's going to be Kupuna Power Day coming up this Thursday. So tell all of the kupuna in your communities to come down and join us. Please, colleagues. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any further announcements? If not, I have one announcement, one late introduction. I know Senator Sparrow got the note, but I would remind the members that the last two amendments, 19 and 20, that we took are for 48-hour notice. So we will be reconvening at noon on Thursday for the 48-hour notice instead of our customary 11:30 a.m., and that'll be in Senator Sparrow's motion. And I would like to just offer a late introduction and just extend from the Hawaii Senate our aloha and greetings to Mr. and Mrs. Werner, who are in the gallery. If there are no further announcements, Senator Sparrow.
I move that the Senate stand adjourned until 12 noon on Thursday, April 12th.
Senator English.
Second the motion.
It's been moved and seconded. If there are no objections from the members, the Senate will stand adjourned until noon on Thursday.
Thank you.